Dear friends, in this session, I'm going to discuss on digital security, forensics, and fake biometrics. In this presentation, I'm going to cover digital security and its challenges, an introduction to digital forensics, and about digital crimes, how it happens, and what are all the kinds of digital crimes are there, and how to collect evidences of such digital crimes, and what is the process of digital crime investigation, and an introduction to fake biometrics. So first, let us understand what is this digital security. Digital security is the process of protecting an individual's online identity data and other assets. But we used to hear the word cyber security many a times rather than this digital security. Then what is the difference between this cyber security and digital security? So as we have seen the definition of digital security refers the protection or the securing the data or information pertaining to an individual. But cybersecurity is nothing but it covers the process of protecting entire network components and individuals from unauthorized access. So it is nothing but digital security refers securing individuals data. Cyber security refers protecting the entire network and its network components. So this is the difference. So the cyber security is nothing but it is the process of protecting entire network components and individuals from unauthorized access. So which one you think it is broader one? See, cyber security is the broader one, right? Because we are human beings and we are social animals. We are not, we cannot live alone like tigers and lions. So we have to be in the group. We have to live in a society, isn't it? So we need when a society comes into picture. So it is not just our family, so public places will be there, like place like park or bus stand or road or any other hospitals or anything. So that all constitutes as a society. So it's the security of something which belongs to whole society, or that means the society is something like cyber space, and individual data is something like digital data which is owned to some individual. So in cyber security, it covers all network related components also. So hence we are living in society. Society is very much important. If we want to protect ourselves, our society must also be protected. So then only we can be safe. Otherwise, we cannot live, very protectively, right? So if we, protect our house and we cannot sit inside the house and we cannot live. So our society must also be secured. Then only we can live peacefully. So hence, cyber security is most popular word because so it not deals with just the protecting the data, it also deals with the protecting components, network components, and the whole network also. So hence we are usually frequently we hear the word cyber security than digital security. Okay, I want to know that this cyber security is not very new, isn't it? It is being there with us from past 20 years. And government is investing lot of money, crores of rupees to protect against cyber crimes. And also many industries also working towards providing cyber security, and many researchers also working on this cyber security area. Then also why it is becoming worse and worse. So we have heard that recently in pandemic, it is that the number of the rate of cyber crime has increased 200 times or 300 times like that. So many are working for cybersecurity and can't prevent from cyber criminals. What could be the reason? Is it so hard to protect our data or our cyberspace? So what could be the reason why it has not reached to that extent, that why all these people are working, government, industries, researchers, and also the developers are working towards it, why it is not possible to achieve? Anybody can guess the reasons? What could be the reasons? Actually, Dr. Gaurav Gupta has covered a little bit about this.
Ma'am, changing technologies,
Hmm?
fast, fast changing technologies,
Yeah, that is one of the point. That's right. And
and lack of human awareness.
lack of
Human awareness.
human
Awareness.
awareness. Yeah.
Um,
See, I'll just address your points. Technology is changing very fast. Can't we provide the security along with the technology change? As and when the technology changes, advances, can't they provide security along with that?
Ma'am, it
Is it
can provide,
absolutely
but it
hmm?
will take time. Ma'am, it can provide, but it will take time to learn the new technology and then to provide security according to that. It will take time.
Yeah, so in this we can understand that security part and the technology advancement or technology, providing technology or what developing new technology, they are different, isn't it? So we have to agree for that. They are not together, they are different. So security can't be provided. See how we construct the house. We put iron doors, and we make a guard around the house, and we put CC camera and any other sensors and all. We all give, provide, or we will construct along with the uh, building of the house only. So while building the house, so we will provide all these protective measures along with construction. But will you differentiate between security and the development separately? Yeah, it is true. Actually, it is always separate only. But if we do all together, it would be fine. But people will not cover the security part while development. So because they are hurry in giving the new features, and with the market competition, and they won't take much interest about the security. And there are few issues like for providing the security, it is individuals interest. So the security level which I want will be different from the security level our PM, Narendra Modi needs, isn't it? The security level each individual needs is different. So that is also one aspect why they are different. Any other reasons? One is technology change, and another is awareness. Any other reasons why we could not achieve 100% cyber security? We are struggling, and it is becoming worse and worse. Otherwise, can you think the number of cyber criminals are more than the common people we are? So they are more intelligent, and they are more achievable than us. We are not able to protect us against cyber criminals. Is it true? So we should think of all this, right? So why we should not always think about the problem, why we could not solve it, why it is not resolved so far, so many years? So the reasons, the actual reasons are, the first as one of the participant mentioned, that is technical technology change. Technology change is one of the problem. Yes, it is true. But another problem is it is not just the technology problem. It also includes human psychology. So, as our chief guest mentioned in first session, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, he said exploiting the emotions of the humans, right? So we can protect our data. I'll just give an example, like how we protect our data by encryption, or by protecting by password, isn't it? Our pin code are usually like this, some some kind of key words we use to protect our data. So if we reveal that key words or keys, then anybody can access the data, right? So that is the way how we protecting our data. So in encryption also we have a public key or the private key or the secret key. So in password protection also we have password. So if we reveal that, then anybody can access it and they can modify it or they can use for their purpose. So for it is not just the technical problem. So it also has the aspect of human psychology. So that's why this is the one of the main reason why cyber security is not yet being reached to the 100% security level. And the second problem is, or the second reason is, the rules of digital world are different from the physical world. Yes, of course, we all agree that. So in the digital world, there is no boundary or the border concept, right? So we will have, for every police station will have local jurisdiction, but here there is no international border, there is no national border, there is no state border, there is no local border also, nothing. So data will not recognize the national borders or the any borders. So digital data cannot recognize, and distance is not at all a matter here. So that is not only the thing here. Time and distance and the boundary will not have any restriction here. So that is another reason where the other participant has mentioned that the awareness. So we need awareness about the online or the digital world. So how it works. So otherwise it will be very difficult. So and the third one is cyber security law, policy and practice are not yet fully developed. So as I told you, digital data cannot recognize the borders or the boundary, but the law has the boundary. So every country has its own cybersecurity law or the policy. But laws are changing nation by nation, but the crimes are same. Criminals are sitting somewhere and attacking the people who is sitting in some other country. There is no boundary or there is no restriction for the criminals or the crimes, but for the laws we have restrictions. And due to the change in technology, I mean the fast change in the technology, the security laws are getting delayed to amend as fast as the technology changes. Security law has to be framed, so that is taking a lot of time. So by that time the new technology comes into existence and the criminals are using the new technology to commit the crime. So punishment, what would be the punishment and how to detect and how to manage that is not yet framed in the law and order. So that is another problem. And one more thing is, so if a security concern, so when we consider security, so who is responsible? Is the government is responsible? Or the industry who is developing the software is the responsible? Or the users are the responsible? So usually we blame everything every time to the on the government, right? So is it in case of cyber world, in the digital world, who is going to responsible? So if any crime happens, or if any security issue comes, who is responsible and who shares the responsibility? And we have stored, and we do lot of money transaction by using Google Pay, Phone Pay, or any through bank softwares also. So if Google Pay, we believe up to some extent. Okay, if Google misuses our data, who is responsible? How do we believe some company to give our whole data and even money? We handle just with the OTP and the password, right? So how do we believe those companies? For all these, it to be fully developed. So even today, the responsibilities, the security issues, and if any, the responsibility with the division of responsibility of this cyber security to the government or industries or the user. So this is all together is not yet clear. So this is another reason. These are the three main reasons still we are struggling for providing cyber security, not yet achieved. And yet this problem will be there forever. This is like our coronavirus. So this will not go. So only user has to be aware of what he's doing and what he has to do. And there are many more other challenges also there along with this. In developing a particular security mechanism, one must always consider potential attacks on those security features. So as I told you that security levels required for each individual is different. So it is customized. It cannot be standardized. So if it could have been standardized by this time, it could have been solved the problem. But security has to be taken care by each individual. So it is not a mechanical or automated thing. So we have to set our security settings as we need. So this cannot be automated. uh, so uh, and security features are different for each individual. So that's what I want to convey. And the second one is security requires regular, even constant monitoring, and this is difficult in today's short term overloaded environment. So this is not the one time job. We have to keep monitoring it. We have to have a regular frequent monitoring is required. So every time we have to, for we have heard that for every 2 months or the 6 months we need to change the password, because the stealing of data in the online world, the owner will not come to know that. So hence we need to change our security settings always, and we have to monitor it always. So by mistake or knowingly or unknowingly, or somebody else may have a control of our security settings. So we should always open it and make it sure that whether my security settings are okay for me. That is another regular monitoring is needed. And one more problem is to have a security, we feel that that is an extra step. So like as I told you that we fix a iron door to our house. So while opening, we need to first open the iron door and then wooden door. So if we feel that like it is extra work, then no security can be provided, right? So that's how. So when we insert a new pen drive, so it if you have installed antivirus software, so it will scan and it will give the report. So we should wait until it scans the whole data in the pen drive. So if the user does not have that patience, if he skips that steps, no, then he will be under the threat. So that is the another way of how we can provide security and how we can be protected ourselves. So antivirus software and all the error messages or any pop-up messages and the security settings, we should be aware and we should not ignore it. Everybody thinks that the security is an extra step that slow downs our efficiency, the speed of the work. So always they skip that step and directly go into their work. So this is what another reason how the people is becoming the victim of the cyber crimes. So these are the few challenges, and as we know that the technology is changing very fast, and human mind is one of the main reason behind the cyber security. He should be aware of how we should safeguard ourselves from the cyber crimes or cyber criminals. So he is a emotional animal, so one or the other way he will be exploited by the cyber criminals. And one more reason is, that is the main reason, that under the section 230 of Communications Decency Act says that social media can't be held responsible for what other people publish on their platforms. So we use lot of social media like WhatsApp, Twitter, or Facebook, or email, whatever it is. So we all have complete liberty, whole freedom to put any information, any wrong information, any modified information. Of course, if somebody reports it is a data modified, or it somebody think that it is not correct, then they can report it as a false one. But otherwise nobody restricted. So if we think like, if any social media itself will verify our messages or the information what we put into their social media platforms, and if they verify it and if they publish it, it would be very easy for any common man, right? So that job they won't do, because they don't want to lose the users. So even we have seen the fake Facebook accounts. Can't that Facebook owner can't prevent this fake Facebook accounts? Of course they can. They can restrict while opening the new Facebook account, but they don't do, because they need many more number of users. So they want to give full freedom for them to express their feelings or their thoughts. So here, according to this section says, social media can't be held responsible for what other people publish on their platforms. So that social media are not responsible. So who is going to responsible? Is it government is responsible? Or the common man is responsible? Public are responsible? See, public, we can see there are ethical people also, unethical people also. We cannot control, or we cannot have who complete control over unethical people. So we can see all types of people in the society. So they obviously they misuse this social platform. So this is how the social cyber crimes are happening. For all this, the solution has to be given. So we hope we will get in future. Anyway, as we seen, users and misusers are there with the digital data or cyberspace. So even government is also using this social media for informing the information. So recently, this is published in on 27th August 2021. So recently, 1 month back, not even 1 month. High Court, says that it will serve summons and notice through WhatsApp and through email also. That is also accepted. And actually, 1 year back, even Supreme Court also given the same statement. So now summons and notices are sent by WhatsApp and email. So inevitably, we have to use these social media, irrespective of whether it is secured or not. Hence, even government is also depending on such media. So both users and misusers are there with respect to social media and technology. So the same technology can be used for the good purpose as well as for the bad purpose. So only with the intention of the human, they can use for both the purposes. As we have a knife, it can be used for chopping the vegetables, or it can be used for the for killing a person also. So this is how the technology or social media, only human being has to be aware of how it must be used. And anyway, we cannot just stop the statement there. So if the criminals are there, so we cannot just leave them to do whatever they want. We have to avoid them, we have to control them, some punishment must be given. So that responsibility has to be taken by all. And data once created will always remain in storage media. So this is everybody has to be kept in their mind, and remember that once it is deleted, it is not deleted permanently, it will be there always. Actually, Mrs. Shubhamangala madam told, if you delete some years ago also, there are some tools, using them we can retrieve it, we can get it back. And at the same time, it is also applicable to criminals also. If they do some criminal activity and if they try to delete their evidences, definitely those evidences also will be there. It is not only that our data will be there, even if we delete their evidences also, if they cannot delete completely or they cannot destroy evidences completely, that also will be there. So anyway, the whole theme here we have to understand is the cybersecurity is not just the technical problem, isn't it? So hence, all of us must have awareness. So all of us must think like cyber crime investigator. So we have to get updated how a criminal commit a crime. So and how people becomes a victim of these criminals. So we have to know completely the scenario how it happens in each cases of the cyber crimes. So we have to think like the cyber crime investigator, otherwise this problem will not never going to solve. So hence all of us need to counsel our and the students and the children and the next generation who is going to use or depend on this digital data. So this is our responsibility, one of the responsibility we have to do always. As like any other behavior, common sense, this also it's like a common sense. What should we share and what not to do on the cyber crime? I mean cyber space or on the social media. What should we share or what not should be shared? So this is the common sense everybody should have. So with this introduction to cyber security or the digital security, will understand digital forensics. Digital forensics is the branch of forensic science focused on the recovery and investigation of information found in digital devices and cyber crimes. So digital forensics come into picture after cyber digital crime happens. So here, digital forensics is nothing but investigating on the crime and get the evidences properly and prove that who has committed this crime. So this is all about the investigation and collection of the digital evidence. Usually these words, cyber forensics, computer forensics, and digital forensics, all these words normally In general, in day-to-day life, we use synonymously. Actually, they are specifically they are different, but as a overall, they are all have overlap, and we use frequently and interchangeably. Even digital security and cyber security also we use interchangeably, but actually they have their own definition. But we can use computer forensics or cyber forensics or digital forensics as one and the same. Exactly, if you deal, definitely it has different definitions. So digital forensics include all the devices that work on zeros and ones. As the name, the digital, once we hear that, we will get the digital devices comes into our mind, that the digital camera, our mobile phones, our computer, our digital watches. So everything now we use digital. So all the conventional devices has become now digital watch now. Even at home also, we don't have analog watch, so we will be having digital watch. So whatever the device is misused by anybody, so if investigation will be done on that digital devices, is nothing but the digital forensics. So it comes under digital forensics. So there are three branches. Actually, I have listed only three here. The list goes on. It is endless for the branches of digital forensics. Basically, with respect to how we collect digital evidences from different digital devices. So based on that, I have just mentioned only three branches here. That is the computer forensics. So this includes digital storage media, pen drives, or printers, or scanners, or digital watches, or computer. So anything, any digital device, gadget you take, we use, we can say that it comes under computer forensics. The difference between these mobile device forensics and network forensics is mobile device forensics, which are all the devices which connects to or which can communicate with other person, so which has the capability of communication. So such devices are I just grouped into mobile device forensics. So investigating our collection of evidences from such devices comes under mobile device forensics. So for example, smartphones, and PDA, that is personal digital assistants, and even any other, even digital watch also, 'cause sometimes it has communication capability. So GPS, whichever the devices which has communication capability, so that comes under this branch. And then network forensics, it is dynamic and volatile. So ongoing network traffic, the analysis of ongoing network traffic is called the network forensics. So investigating the ongoing network traffic, or collecting the evidences from the network traffic, or analyzing the network traffic. In this, like routers, switches, hubs, and any other network components may involve in this. So such
Oi.
devices, investigating on such devices is called network forensics. So I have listed some of these digital crimes here. So there are many other crimes also, as you know that hacking is nothing but unauthorized access of the data, and denial of service is nothing but preventing the legitimate users from getting the service from the resources in the network. And malware, we know that it is one of the it comes under like viruses or uh, Trojan horses and many more mal programs. So it is a piece of code which has capability of changing the working way of computer. So and phishing is nothing but yes, it is one type of social engineering where a criminal will act as a genuine person. So it may be a website, or it may be a person who may call and ask as a bank person, a bank employee. So like that, pretending like a genuine person or genuine website or any genuine entity. So that is called phishing. And cyber terrorism is like threatening the other users, like by having the personal information, they later they use that personal information to threaten others. And software piracy, so it is the illegal copying and distribution of the software. And identity theft and credit card fraud, so that comes under like this is one of the main kind of digital crime usually we come across. So identity theft by using phishing technology, so they try to grab the personal information, and then they use it for stealing the money. So that is how the digital crimes happens. And there are many more cyber crimes are there. So majorly are more frequently these are the crimes occur in our society. And some of the laws are here mentioned, that is the punishments for those cyber crimes are: data owned by you or your company in any form is stolen. So that is nothing but identity theft, or some data which belongs to somebody. If they steal the data, so what could be the punishment? That is 3 years of imprisonment or fine up to 5 lakhs. And a password is stolen and used by someone else for fraudulent purpose, so for that again the 3 years of imprisonment and fine up to rupees 1 lakh. But the problem is how to prove that somebody has stolen my password. So that is the problem. But there is a law here: if somebody uses our password, so we can complain against them, and we can try to give a punishment. But it is very difficult to prove that crime actually. And email is read by someone else by fraudulently making use of password. Yeah, if somebody uses our password and read our emails, and they misuse our email accounts by sending emails and all, so for that also same as 3 years of imprisonment and fine up to rupees 5 lakhs. And a biometric thumb impression is misused. So how it can be misused? So maybe they use artificial identity, or any other way. If they misuse, even through software also, if they change the template or hacking and all, if they misuse the biometric trait, any biometric trait, so that is also the fine up to 1 lakh and 3 years of imprisonment. And an electronic signature or digital signature is misused, so that is also same punishment. And a phishing email is sent out in your name asking for login credentials. So usually we get such calls and such emails every day. So that is also, it is 3 years of imprisonment and fine up to rupees 1 lakh. And data modification, so data modification, again it is very unclear crime or the offense, because Data modifications, we digital data, we keep changing the data. So if the modification is unintentional, then there is no punishment should be given. So that is what the law says. It is not mentioned here actually. If the modification is unintentional, then there is no punishment. I mean, unintentional in the sense it is not with a bad intention, then there is no punishment. If they do with a bad intention for misuse, then only punishment will be there. How do we differentiate between them? See, for example, if you take photos, nowadays a lot of photo modification cases we come across. Recently, we one of the message I got in my WhatsApp that one of the one person has called to somebody and they told that I got photos of yours from your Facebook. Or getting a photo is not a big thing, right? Profile photos we change frequently, and in a Facebook also we get. So I'll modify all those photos and I'll upload into YouTube. So modification is not with a good intention; it is with a bad intention. So he was asking for some money that if you don't give this much of money, I have your photos and I have modified with a bad intention and I'll upload into YouTube. So actually, that person, worried, and actually, how it happened is other person called and he told that I have hacked your mobile phone and I got all your data along with your photos and videos, so I have modified it and I'll upload it to YouTube. So he and the offender, I mean the offender as asking for the money, and the victim has thought that, oh, it's okay, I have not have any secret information in my phone, I mean any such photos I don't have, so let it be. So he ignored actually that. So later one another person called and he asked that, so your photos, obscene photos are in YouTube, so if you don't remove all those, we will punish you, or we will remove you, or we will lodge a complaint against you, something. So this is how the cases are going. See, here nothing has happened actually, so just it is a threaten call. But the person really got upset and he disturbed. So even though he has not done anything, so for a while he got disturbed and he cannot respond to such cases, and he must seek the help of some technical people or cyber people. So this is how the common people are going to become the victims of cyber criminals. And the last one is stealing data from a government computer that has significance from a national security perspective. So this is another crime. So here I have just listed few how the laws and the punishments are mentioned in the cyber crime security law. So these are the some of the laws where for the crime cyber crimes, the punishment and the fine is going to apply. And how to detect this? So as a cyber crime investigator, he is always believe in Lockharts exchange principle. It says that anyone entering a crime scene, he leaves something behind or takes something away. So this is very true in case of physical crime, isn't it? It is very true in case of physical crime, but what about digital crime? Sometimes it is very difficult to get a digital evidence of any crime. But this law has made very long back, and I hope definitely it should also apply to digital world. but we have to wait maybe for another few years in the future. So if anything you do with the digital world, it must be recorded somewhere. So only thing is we should have technology to identify such activity. So we should have technology to identify such activity and get the evidences. So, but right now, in many cases, digital evidences are lost, and we are not able to, identify or recover. So that is also true. We hope for the best. Definitely, it will. Technology is changing very fast. So in this case, in this view, also definitely, in future we will get complete cyber security. Digital forensics is concerned with the identification, preservation, examination, and analysis of digital evidence using scientifically accepted and validated processes to be used in and outside of the court of law. So this is a actual definition of the digital forensics. So we have to identify the digital evidence, and we have to preserve it, and have to examine it, and have to analyze it, and have to report it, prepare the report of digital evidences in a scientifically accepted and validated process. So in a scientific manner, by using a scientific procedure, we have to do all these steps. This is why it is very difficult, because of the nature of the digital evidence. The digital evidence is not visible, right? It is concealed in the digital devices. So it can be transported, it can be carried to anywhere, one place to another place, and it is concealed like our biometrics. So our biometrics is with us, fingerprint is there, and our face and all our biometric traits are with us. See, we cannot see the fingerprint unless we put the impression on something. So that will take all the information of our fingerprint, and that computes, or that provides a template for our fingerprint. But as we see with our naked eye, we cannot see it. So this is how even the digital evidence also cannot be seen with our naked eye. So it will be concealed. It is there inside the digital storage media, inside the computer, inside the pen drive, or inside any external hard disk, or inside printer, and any. So this is one of the nature of the digital evidence, and it can be transmitted, or it can be transient, or it can be transported to some one place to another place. And it is, the main thing is, it is highly fragile, and it is volatile, and it can be altered, and it can be damaged, or it can be destroyed uh, very easily, even, yeah, sometimes without leaving the digital evidence. So this is the nature of the digital evidence. This is why even cyber crime investigation is making difficult. And for this reason, special precaution should be taken while searching and collecting and preserving or transport the digital evidence from one place to another place, and while examining the document. So all these in cyber criminal investigation process, we have to take care of this fragile digital evidence very carefully. We have to handle it very carefully. So that should not get altered. So the digital evidence or any digital data easily can be altered, right? So if you open the file, so it automatically changes its modified date. So once a crime happens, the cybercrime investigator opens again as they take, and that the date will get modified. So that should not happen. That's why they use the scientific methods to preserve the digital evidence in the actual format. Some of the digital devices were in the cyber crime scene we get are, so these are I just listed here the digital devices where the which are the sources of digital evidences, like computer, CPU. So that is the a major device or the part which the cyber investigator will get more evidences. So while investigating, it has to be actually noted down which model, which processor it is using, and what is the size or what is the shape, which so our device itself become a digital evidence. And also before investigating, it has to be cloned the data, and it's investigator has to completely he has to preserve the actual status of the any digital device and also the data. And other sources are like display monitors, like computer display monitors, or any other LCD or CRT monitors. So that will also become a digital evidence. So though it will not have sometimes it may not have digital storage, but the model number or what type of device it is, so who is the manufacturer, so that also will be the digital evidence. And smart cards, dongles, and biometric scanners, so this can be a digital sources of digital evidences when in a scene of crime. So this all the digital devices, if they are present, they all has to be seized and has to be taken care. And then answering machines and digital cameras. So if digital cameras are there, then we have to protect it in the same status when it is seized. And handled devices, so like personal digital assistants or electronic organizers or smartphones, so this must be protected in their status. So after taking control of all this by investigating officer, so he has to take care that he should not use, or he should not switch on the device if it is in the off condition, and if it is in the on condition, he should not switch off it also. So in that manner, he has to protect the actual digital evidence. And hard drive is one of the source of digital evidence. And local area network card, that is the NIC, that is network interface card, so that could be one of the digital device. We may get digital evidence from that. And then modems, routers, and hubs, and switches, and then servers, and network cables, and pagers. So all these will come, and all these comes under the digital devices, where the investigator will get the digital evidences, has to collect evidences from all these digital devices. And printers, of course, printers will have some storage space. So it gives like at what time, at what file, who has taken, and from where, from which computer it got the signal. So that and all the information may be possible to get from the printers. And then removable storage media and devices. So like they are pen drives, or SD cards, memory cards. So and any external hard disk, or any external devices, storage media, they also become the part of the digital evidence sources. And scanners, yeah, as printers, scanners also. And telephones, so now these kinds of telephones may not be there, but still in the government organizations they will be there. So all the digital devices like this, and yeah, copiers, so that is the Xerox machine. Now it is also of the digital device, and CD or DVD drives, and credit card simmers, and digital watches, facsimile machines, global positioning systems like GPS, keyboard, and mouses. So see, all these are some of the digital devices where digital evidences can be obtained. When a scene in a scene of crime, if we find all these digital devices, it is a responsibility of the investigating officer to seize all the devices in the proper manner. Before investigation starts, pre-investigation is very much important. So pre-investigating the scene of offense, so it is, of course, in the physical investigation, it is nothing but sending away all persons from the scene of crime. But in electronically, it is nothing but disabling the modems, network connections, etc. So here people will not be there. So of course people are involved in this, but they are sitting anywhere in the world. So hence the all the network related connections must be disabled. So any more communication should not happen. So this comes under the pre-investigating of the scene of crime. And the digital evidence is highly fragile and volatile. It will be available in a number of devices, locations, and in various formats. Yes, so I have shown you the set of digital devices. So all those devices are not stored the data in the same format. So that is another challenge. So there's data in different formats. So such data has to be analyzed properly for the digital evidences. And pre-investigation assessment will help the investigating officer to understand the local situation, circumstances, and technical details of the system or the network before proceeding to seize or preservation of the evidence. So for any crime investigation, pre-investigation has made a major role. It has to be documented properly, and the while pre-investigating, he has to understand the circumstances of the crime, and what and all the things has to be preserved and taken into custody, and how to analyze the crime. So for example, if a crime happens with like a data modification, or with the money laundering, so the investigation of different crimes are in different manner. So for particular crime, what is the necessary evidences should be collected. So that is all should be studied in pre-investigating process. So while pre-investigating process, the one will understand the complete circumstances and the situation of the crime. And so there are three types of scene of crimes, that is outdoor, indoor, and conveyance. But in case of cyber crime or the digital crime, this sometimes will not involved. So that is it will not apply. That is, the crime scene is not limited to physical location. So whether it is outdoor or indoor, or conveyance is the under transportation, that they just use the digital devices, and they commit the crime. So but while investigating, so the investigation starts, and the investigation, if it is a cyber crime, then it locates some IP address, and that particular IP address, when we search and when we go, so again the scene of crime changes. So this is how the scene of offense in case of cyber crime, it differs. So there is no physical location boundary for this kind of cyber crimes, but it will be applied as and when it occurs in between the examination. And pre-investigating the scene of crime will help, or which identifies the scene of crime. Note that the position of the various equipment and items at the scene of offense is very important. So if it is a crime happened at a home or at the public place, maybe at a cyber cafe or any organization, then the procedure will be different for each and every place. So overall, I have listed a few procedure here. That is, if any CCTV or web camera is there, then collect those clippings, and then identify the type of connection, whether they have Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection, or obtain the details about other computer peripherals like printers, scanners, modems, and obtain details about the removable storage media. So what and all the digital devices are there in that premises all have to be taken to the custody. And while examination, it is very difficult, it is very important that searching the digital evidences from various network devices like router, switches, servers, and in storage space like Google Drive or in Amazon, or in the even browsers also will have browsing history, cookies, and cache memory. And log files would be a important digital evidence for any crime, like firewall log or system log or application log. There are for each and every application we will be having log. And if software concern, so what is the version of the software, and when, whether it is the licensed one, or on what date they have installed. So all these are becomes the digital evidences. And ISP, that is the internet service provider. So as soon as a digital crime happens, and if they lodge a complaint, immediately they have to contact ISPs, and they have to get the access details. Otherwise, if they make delay, we may lose the information or the digital evidence. And temporary storage memory like RAM, GPS information, RAM and GPS information. Like this, the digital evidence sources are many. And investigating all these evidences for evidences for solving the digital crime is very important. It is the responsibility of the investigating officer. And after pre-investigation, chain of custody, it is one of the important step in case of digital crime investigation. That is nothing but from the scene of crime, they take many digital devices to their custody, and after that they have to document it, what and all the devices they have taken to custody, and what are their positions, and what are their status, and all these they have to document properly. And then they have to transport into after seizing all this equipment, they have to transfer into the forensic lab. So in the forensic lab, the people who handle these equipments, they are different. So people who seize the equipments from the scene of crime, they are different, and people who examine these equipments, they are different. And later, after investigation, so people who has to transfer into transport into court of law, so they are also different. So in this case, all of them must document, and all of them must preserve the status of the each equipment and the digital device evidences. So they have to reporting all this status is very important. um, so it is nothing but the chain of custody. So it refers the documentation that shows the people who have been entrusted with the evidence. So these are the people who are entrusted. So the transferring from one set of people to another set of people is very important in the same manner, because digital data is very volatile and fragile. It can be altered easily, it can be altered, and it get altered or damaged very easily. So special care must be taken while investigating. So in the chain of custody, it is very important that proving authenticity and integrity of the digital data. And it is very difficult to prove the integrity of the evidence if the chain of custody is not properly maintained. So later, even criminal also may complain that the data has been modified in the forensic lab itself or while taking the custody. So that is how. So for everything, documentation is very important. So as electronic evidence is easy to tamper or to get damaged, it is necessary for us to know exactly who, when, what, where, and why was the evidence transferred to the concerned person. So 5 W's and 1 H is very important. So for everything has to be answered with this 5 W's and 1 H. In that way, the documentation must be done, and appropriate documentation is very important. The foolproof chain of custody is very important, and it includes these steps. Systematically record the observations and use good physical security and data encryption. That physical security is wherever the digital devices which are those taken to custody, those must be stored in a secured place. So any unknown person should not get entry to that place. And data encryption, it has to be encrypted in a different format, and it has to be stored, and it's better always to keep multiple copies at different places. So once one copy, if it gets altered, so we can use the other copy also. So and protect digital media from external electronic and mechanical failures, like temperature or any other mechanical devices, magnetic devices, which may alter the digital data again. So that has to be protected from, keep away from all those things, and account for all people with physical or electronic access to the people, access to the data. So who and all have access, and who and all deal with that digital devices, it has to be recorded properly. And then establish the integrity of the evidence available in on a digital media. So it is done by hashing method. Hashing, yesterday Mrs. Shubhamangala Sunil has explained. Hashing is nothing but it for a given data, it produces a fixed length of the data. So it will be an 128 bit or 256 bit of key it produces. So they use different algorithms like SHA or MD5. Such hashing algorithms are available. It just runs the file, and it produces a fixed length key. And this implies that if even though if a single bit changes happens to the actual data, so that will be affected in the hash value. So hence, keeping a hash for all in all the steps is very important. So that is how we can establish the integrity of the digital evidence. These are all the steps, overall steps usually a digital crime investigator follows. So first he has to identify and secure the crime scene by pre-investigating of the scene of crime, and also by chain of custody, and as is where is documentation of the scene of offense. So this is a form. He has to at the scene of crime they have to fill it up, that is where are the equipments are present, so he can give a sketch, or he can take a photograph of scene of crime, and then collection of evidences from the live systems or the switched off systems. They are different, so they have to follow procedures how to gather evidences from a switched off system, and how to gather evidences from the live system. So actually they have to be in their same condition while investigating, and then once the investigating officer takes the copy of the data, they take image of the whole data, then only they have to turn on or turn off the systems. And then forensic duplication, it is nothing but taking the clone of the data, and then conducting interviews. As and when it is required, not only at the pre-investigating situation, while investigating, while analyzing, while examining, the interview need to be taken from, I mean, to many other people also who have involved in the crime scene, or in the crime, and labeling and documenting of the evidence, it is also very important. So and packaging and transportation of the evidences, so all these must be taken care while investigating any digital crime. So these are all the overall steps. Actually there are many other sub steps are there, that is usually it will be listed with the 5 steps: preservation, collection, examination, analysis, and reporting. um, yeah, identifying and I mean preservation is preserving the digital evidence, and then collecting the digital evidences and from the sources, and examining it and analyze it, and then report it, and then send to the court of law. And so now we have briefly we have understood about the digital forensics. Here the biometrics comes into picture. So when a scene of crime is pre-investigated, that in that places digital devices, what we have seen, like CC camera, or smartphones, or any fingerprints, so those also has to be studied at the time of pre-investigation. So this biometrics comes into picture when fingerprint, or when we clipping, when we take a clipping of a CC camera, so we can find the persons who involved in that crime. So biometrics directly links to the triads who has that identity. So hence the identification, in terms of identification, the forensic science and the biometrics are linked to each other. In forensic science, the scientific body or identifier or identify the wrongdoer, I mean the offender. So in biometrics also, it is used to identify the person who is involved or committed a crime. So by using the biometric, any related biometric traits, if they available at the scene of crime, so that is also identification. So biometric only not used for the identification, it is also used for authentication or for the security purpose mainly. So in general, we use for authentication. In case of for security purpose. So it is better one because it is always unique. It is authentication can be implemented in three ways. So what you have and what you know and what you are, but biometrics are proved that this is easy for anybody to give the authentication. So that is any I mean, hey, in something you have means any it relates to the credit card or the debit card or any kind of identity card. Through that also authentication may be verified. And what you know means what we remember the passwords and OTPs and pin codes and all, how we use ATM machines. So that is also one way of providing authentication. And what you are means, so we don't need to carry anything. So like fingerprint and face or maybe may become a tried for authentication. So hence biometric trades are the most convenient and uh, most powerful way of authenticating the person. How it is different? In what way this forensic and the biometric are different? They are different in these ways, that is the different work approaches. So in forensics, it happens after a commission of the crime, but in biometric system, so it will have a bank or the database. So when sample come for the identification, so that will be used for identification or recognition of a person. And evidence, it is a type of evidence. So what type of evidence is not known in case of scene of crime? So whether it is a fingerprint or any voice recorded evidence. So what kind of evidence is available in the scene of crime is not known in advance. But in case of biometrics, it is known that in a ATM or if in any organization, we have to provide our fingerprint. So we will be having a device, and we know that what kind of evidence we have to give for authentication. But in case of forensic, it is not known. Type of evidence is not known. And in real time recognition, this is biometrics is real time recognition. So hence computational efficiency is very much important. So it must recognize and give the result very quickly. In a forensic approach, it is not real time, it is offline. So computational efficiency is not required much. And inconclusive decision, so that means in scene of crime, we will be getting one or two sample of the person. I mean, trait of a biometric trait of a person. So that is, it may not be clear, and from that a single or few samples, it sometimes giving a conclusion or making a decision is very difficult. But in case of biometric systems, we will have enough number of samples, and we make a template of a particular person, of the face or the fingerprint. By taking many samples, a standard template will be made for each person, and it is easy to decide and recognize a individual. And the quality, of course, here also the quality of the evidence with respect to biometric trait at the scene of crime is not up to the expectation, and it is not it will not give complete information. But in biometric system, so quality is not a matter because it is taken in a controlled environment. So as we discussed, it is in foreign scene of crime, or in forensic perspective, the evidences are taken in unconstrained environment, and in biometric it is system, it is taken in a constrained environment or controlled environment. So forensics and biometrics are ancient natural made in forensic. I mean, very old friends they are. So they all together always they both help to solve a crime always. And I'll just skip this slide, and then yeah, there are many biometric traits are available. Usually we use voice, signature, and gait, and palm print, and iris, or DNA, or face, like this. But there are many other biometric traits are available, like thermography recognition, so that identifies the when blood moves, it produces some heat. So based on that also, it is possible to identify a person, like a skin reflection, and retinal scan, palm vein recognition, and heartbeat, and finger vein. And so there are body order, ear acoustic, so lip movement. So each and every part of the human is unique from others. So those physical characteristics can be taken as a biometric tag to identify or recognize a person. Many companies usually they take our uh, they collect the information of face, voice, and environment. So that is the Facebook will collect a face recognition, and voice data also. So when we send audio messages, so collects and it keeps our all biometric traits, because biometric traits are not secret. So faces, photos can be visible. I mean, photos are taken from any of the social media, and fingerprints, wherever we touch, so it will be, that impression will be there on all the devices. So like this, biometrics, since biometrics are not secret, it is easy to collect by any other third party. So hence they try to make the fake identities. So that is the fake biometrics exists. So fake bio identities are created to deceive biometric systems. There are two ways of making this fake identities, that is direct method and indirect method. So a direct method means by using without touching the digital device, that is a biometric device, it fraudulently the fake identity will be shown in front of the device, and they get the identification, or they get the authorization. And software based attacks, that is nothing but like they change the template inside the biometric system, or it is based on the hacking. So they change the feature selection part, or it is basically changing in the software. So these biometric threads can be counterfeited, but it is very difficult to counterfeit all the biometric threads. Basically fingerprint, face recognition, iris scan, hand geometry, and voice pitch, gait, typing rhythm also can't be counterfeited, and signature. So majorly these seven types of biometric tests can be counterfeited. I'll just show you how they make the fake identities. In this face spoofing, where they present photo or the videos or the 3D mask or any other way to attack the biometric system. So they just use these methods to get the authentication. I'll just show you with your permission. Actually, am running out of time. There are 3D face, prepare a 3D face also, and see how they get recognition. Yeah, yesterday somebody asked about a liveness detection. Actually, I am not here explaining how to detect this fake biometrics. Just I am showing what are all the ways to uh, attack on the biometric system. So I'm not covering how to detect from fake identity to genuine identity here. There are these ways for face spoofing. Even 3D faces also can be prepared similarly as the real face. Another biometric most frequently used is a fingerprint and the palm print. Palm print is not much used everywhere. Anyway, this can also be spoofed by using some materials like this: silicone, putty, or candle wax, and latex, and gelatin. Of course, these fake identities sometimes it may not work. It is not completely a standard one. Some the liveness biometrics detection, liveness detection will identify it, but parallelly this fake biometrics and also the liveness detection also going on, but nothing is has not achieved completely. But and iris can also be spoofed by using paper printed iris, cosmetic contact lenses, or displayed videos, and fake eyes like this. So these they prepare a fake eye, and this is the contact lens, and this is a taken a photograph. So iris is very important biometric, right, where in airport and all they use, and it is very difficult to spoof counterfeited actually. Then also some cases it is happened. And fake voice, usually it will be generated by technology based, or human also can imitate the voice of others. So but this what iris, face, and fingerprint are physiological biometrics, but for voice and what signature, all these are behavioral biometrics. So this needs a lot of samples to create a forgery. So hence nowadays deep learning techniques are used for generating forgery voice or the forgery signature. these deep fake, they are called deep fakes. So by using such applications, it is very easy to swap the faces and automate the lip syncing, and audio also can be adjusted accordingly. So but due to this deep fakes, there are many security issues have occurred, that is like security breaches or fake news spreading, people impersonation, and opinion formation. So I'll just show you an important video here, which uses gate as.
Lately, we have been seeing some pretty hilarious memes that are made from AIs. Looking back, one of the earliest memeable AI was definitely from deepfakes, and now more and more AIs are being used comedically. And the order motion model that I covered in their demo, they did show some voice motion
Here in this
transfer or
video,
human movements transfer, but it was not as good as the facial motions transfer. So, onto the latest AI news. 3 weeks ago, an AI research paper called Liquid Warping Again was published, and just a few days ago, they have open sourced their code. And first of all, their official demo looks too good to be true. It looks insanely good at motion capturing, mapping 3D bodies, image and painting, and many other details I have shown.
yeah, this is how by using deep learning technique, anybody's motion can be cloned. And similarly, even voice also can be generated by using this deep learning technique. So by having samples, as I told you, voice is anybody's voice is available
Your fellow
freely.
scholars, this is too many papers with this man's name that is impossible to pronounce.
My name is Dr. Karo Jonay Fahir, and indeed, it seems that pronouncing my name requires some advanced technology. So, what was this? I promise to tell you in a moment, but to understand what happened here, first, let's have a look at this deepfake technique we showcased a few videos ago. As you see, we are at a point where our mouth, head, and eye movements are also realistically translated to a chosen target subject, and perhaps the most remarkable.
Yeah, where we are running short of time. So like this, any behavioral biometrics also traits can also be counterfeited. I'll leave the slides, and I'll send you the links so you can see all these videos. Using this artificial intelligence and machine learning, making biometric fake biometric is also easy, and it is very difficult to differentiate from the genuine one with the forged one. And even signature also can be created by three ways, that is normal hand forgery and tracings and simulation. So by having some experience and by trying with by a skilled forger, so he can do a forgery signature by taking some training, and by some practice. So and similarly, tracings is also possible, and simulation is nothing but some machines are available like autopen, plotter, and robotic arm. So you can buy all these in Amazon through online also. So these machines will get information. It automatically learn how to make a signature, forgery signature, and it does the signature as the genuine person does. So these are the possibilities of creating fake biometrics. And keystroke biometrics is just used to identify a person along with the another biometric. Actually, it stores the patterns how a person types, and what pressure he puts on keys, and in what angle he press the key, and how much time he takes between the pressing of each key. So these information will identify which helps to identify a person. Actually, this cannot be counterfeited. This cannot be by practice. Maybe somebody can try to use the keyboard like others, but this is very efficient way of identifying a person. It is very unique. Fake biometrics, in this case, it is very difficult to make. So thank you. Actually, I have taken 10 minutes extra. So I would like to take questions. If anybody have any questions, so if possible, which are comes under this any mathematical related models. I have not built for this, for liveness detection and all. Okay. Thank you, Deepika. You can reach me through email also. Anyway, all of you have my email. So if you have any queries, any questions, you can send me an email. So I'll just wind up the session. We meet again at 2:30. That session is on personal development perspective by Colonel Jyotirmaya Satpathy. Thank you, one and all. We'll meet at 2:30. Okay, we'll have a lunch break now.
Thank you, ma'am.